What's up, guys? It's Huntero. Today we're going to be doing a demo review for a subscriber, taking a look at some rounds and see if we can't give him some notes to get better at the game. Isn't that what we're all trying to do? So in this Face It Pug, they're going to do A smokes. I would definitely have your gun out around the corner, ready if they flash push the smoke right there. And here you're just going to quietly check to see if anyone's lurking the smoke. That's fine. A little crazy right there. Let's actually go in game and talk about this. Okay, so the problem with doing A smokes in a Face It Pug is that coming out A ramp really sucks. There's a lot of angles you can get shot from. Sandwich, bench, there could be someone close left here, sight on either side, triple on either side, someone under balk, someone on top of balk if you have teammates that didn't check that. There's a lot that can go wrong when you're coming out A ramp when you're not in a coordinated team. So what I would recommend is if you're in a Face It Pug, go Palace. Just be aggressive and say, hey, I'm going to go Palace, and say that you'll molly under balk. Because mollying under balk is super easy. You just get yourself into that line right there and aim it right there at that corner. And you can even do that if you're smoked off. You just come into the corner right here, and then I'm lining up with the upper left corner of this orange block. I'm lining up right there. So if I do that and then just wedge myself into that same corner, as you can see, it went down, bada bing, bada boom. Now, the reason this is awesome is because you're much more isolated to all of the angles that people could be on A site. So like the first thing I would clear out is sandwich, and then once sandwich is clear, you're gonna have smokes. If they did the smokes right here and here, right? Well, you know, it'll be actually a good smoke right there. So then you can just make sure no one pushes into bench, which is super common. What players coming out of A ramp should be doing is mauling right here, but players rarely do that in pugs. So you can just be checking this smoke to see if anyone pushes the smoke, and then as people underbalk's going to be clear because you mauled it. So as people start making contact with site players, and those site players are now focused on the players coming out here because they're making contact with them, you can then peek into those players and fight them. And just be careful. Like, I would just like fight here and here. Be very careful, because once you come out here, things can start getting weird. If someone's boosted up there, or if someone's here. This is also a common spot here and here. So it's still just so much better to come out Palace when you're in a pug like that. So try that, see how that works out for you. I have a feeling you're going to have much more success coming out Palace like that. So in this round, your team full bought. It's a gun round, but you have a deagle, but you have $2,800. That confused me. I've noticed throughout this whole demo, your purchases were very strange. So I don't really know why that would be. Having an AK here would be pretty huge. But kind of what happens is you go into Palace. Your team's not doing A smokes. This is just like a... I'm not sure what's going on. But the problem here is that you get spotted. And then you're kind of just stuck here fighting, trying to one-deke someone. In a really tough spot because you can get molly, naded, opt, as you just did. So we're going to take the perspective of, like, if you had half bought. If you had armor and a deagle and this wasn't a gun round, what are some things you can do to be more successful? Alright, so we're going to basically just pretend that that was a half buy round. You've got deagle and an armor. We'll say in this situation you got a smoke, because I always try to get either a smoke or a flash when I do a half buy so that I can make some kind of play happen. So going to Palace on a half buy really sucks for the same reason that we talked about why when you're playing Palace, when A smokes are happening, why peeking out to here starts to get risky. It's because once you're out to about right here, you're just exposed to so many places you can get killed from. And if you just have a deagle, you're just trying to get the one tap in the head, right? And it's really hard to do that when you have so many places you have to watch once you break this line right here. So what I personally like to do is, if I'm on a half buy, if I have a deagle, I'll either go top mid, but in this case we're going to talk about B. The reason B is a great play is because there's a lot less angles you have to worry about, especially if you have a smoke with you. So obviously coming through here, this is just less stuff you're exposed to compared to coming out of Palace or A ramp. So what I like to do is throw either this smoke where I line up here, go here, bring it up to here, just a single throw, and that's going to smoke off bench. It just closes off angles that I have to worry about. That's just less angles that I have to check when I'm clearing. So instead now, I don't have to worry about back here. I can just clear here, here, and then worry about through here. I can even put my back to the wall and then not have to worry about cats so much and start clearing out angles, start checking stuff, and then get on a site. Maybe get a kill, make something happen. The other smoke you could do is go into this corner, crouch, line up here at that corner of the building and do a jump throw. You're on face it, so this is a 128 tick jump throw. And that's going to go into that corner right there and smoke off that window, so then when you're coming up to this spot, you've cleared out right here. Now you only have to worry about right here. You don't have to worry about an opper being posted up right there. And that's just, and when you're right here, they can't see you from bench actually, because no one plays out here like this. They usually would play closer to the wall, right? So that's just some things to think about. You can make some plays for yourself and be more successful, hopefully get a one tap. What I usually do is right at the beginning of the round, especially if I have a good spawn, if I have a deagle, I'll jump up onto this couch, line up right here, and if anyone jumps up on a van late, I can pop them, or maybe if someone does a jump peek, I can pop their head when they jump across. And then you could start making some work with that smoke. You could throw smoke like this as well, close that off, and then get to work. But yeah, that's like a plan for a half buy, and you'll be more successful if you go B or mid. So because you had the deagle and not the AK last round, your team's money situation is just out of whack. But I would have just bought an AK here. Because if you're going to do a rush B like this with MAC 10s, you can kind of bait everyone and have them do some damage. They might die, but then they can make callouts for you, and then you can get to work with the AK. Kind of bait, stay back, and let them kind of funnel in and get the enemy locations, do damage, then you can clean it up. I definitely would have considered buying an AK there, because you've just, at this point, you've saved so much money back to back that you've got a lot of money floating that's useless. The reason floating money sucks is because obviously the more expensive guns have the higher success rate. You know, MAC 10 is going to be much less successful than an AK. Op's going to be more successful than an AK in a lot of situations. I would definitely flash Underpass and not slow peek it like that. Let's talk about going Underpass right here. We'll let this finish. So someone's in window, someone's on cat, someone could be connector. You got a molly in your face. Pretty tough spot. So let's talk about going Underpass. So whenever you're going Underpass on T side, I always recommend underhanding a flash into that corner like that, because you can peek with it, and it's a lot better because it's common for CT players to jump out a window and just like op right here if they have a teammate pushing top mid. Because if you slow peek it like you did, it's just super easy for them to op and kill you. So using a flash like that will be super beneficial. And then if they're pushing Underpass, that flash is going to give you a higher chance to kill them as well. But let's say everything worked out well, you flashed this, peeked with it, and then you got a kill. So now you're pushing up Underpass, right? The problem with going Underpass in a face it pug is it's kind of like the same thing as coming up A ramp. You have so many angles you have to worry about, and it's because of the player cat that once he hears that you're underpass, he can kill you from up here. So you have to worry about window up here and then connector as well. So it's just too much to have to do, and the odds of you being successful having to worry about all of these places, it's super low. Now, a lot of people go underpass in pro matches, right? Well, that's because they have people top mid helping them. If you have someone top mid smoking cat, mauling window like so, and then they can be holding the smoke, now you only have to worry about connector, right? And then you could have them do a pop flash like this, where that's just gonna destroy someone inside connector because it pops right there. It's like not even, you can't dodge that flash. That pops, you can then look in a connector and get a kill, and then figure out where you're gonna go from there. So that's why underpass is so strong, but it's because you have a coordinated situation with another teammate or two. So underpass, you could throw an underhand flash, look down here just to see if you can grab a kill, but I would probably run back up after that if you don't have anyone that's going to help you at top mid. This is another situation where you had enough for a molly but didn't buy a molly. I don't think I've seen you buy a molly yet, which I thought was odd. But this was a really good round to talk about because you get into a 1v1 with that guy that's pushing upper V. Okay, so right there you spot him, and you immediately just push in and then wide swing. So here's the problem with that. I have to go in game to talk about this. Okay, so you were about right here, shift walking up, you did a crouch peek, saw a guy, and then came out wide. So alternatively, what you could have done, and this is more like talking about what your options are in a 1v1 gunfight, is instead of wide swinging, which is what he's going to expect, like in face it pugs, everyone just wide swings, just like MM. So he just has to stand here, put his crosshair somewhere around head level, wait for you to swing out, and then just shoot and kill you. There's not much he has to do here to win a fight if you wide swing like that. So your other option, and this is what I would recommend trying and doing, is when you see the guy come across, fake and then swing. So what you're hoping happens is if you do a move like this, where you show from shoulder, shoot, and then swing out, so it would be like something like that, is when you shoot and you only show a sliver of your shoulder because you're shoulder peeking when you shoot like that, what he's going to do is he's going to readjust and start coming to here, and he's going to start spraying probably. So his aim moves once, and then when you come out and go like that, his aim is now going to have to do this, right? And he's going to have to adjust again. So because you're making him make two adjustments, and also he's shooting, once you do that, he starts shooting, you come out and swing, he's shooting, right? So he's going to be standing completely still, and he's going to have to do all of that. This gives you a much bigger advantage in the gunfight. This is how you create advantages in gunfights like that. So try a move like that the next time a similar situation happens, and see how the gunfight goes. Practice it in a DM server as well, and I have a feeling you'll see success come. So that's quite a few rounds to go over, a lot of good stuff to go over. Let me know what you think, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I appreciate it.